What's up, everybody? Sorry, I had a little glitch there trying to go live. So looks like we've got a couple of people here. Welcome back. This is the third live stream, and doing this the first Tuesday of the month. I'm Josh Madsen, owner at Freeheel Life, where we preserve, protect, and promote telemark skiing. So that's what we're all about. That's what I'm here to do. And we're going to do a 30-minute public live. Members of our YouTube channel are able to chat, direct live chat, but this is open to the public. So just a quick bit about that. If you want to become a member of the YouTube channel, we've got 3 levels: green, blue, black, just like ski runs. Green level is more or less just kind of base support with some behind the scenes stuff. Blue level, black level both have different features that you can check out. And it's going to be in the description link of this live so you can scope it out. But psyched to be here. And I got this fancy new little cap. Shout out to the Midwest people. I'm rocking the Buck Hill ski racing team. And some customers just sent this to me. So Ben and Etta, thank you if you're checking this out, and helped her with a school project last year about telemark skiing. And they sent me a cool little gift, a book about Telemark, Wisconsin, which was a resort that's defunct and kind of been through all these ownership changes. And then the sweet Buck Hill hat, which I think is right outside of Minneapolis, if I remember. So I've been starting these off with a little piece of history. I always focus on old boots because those are my favorite, but this is one of the best. Check it this. So you guys are pricing the Merrell Super Comp. It's got a nice big white plastic cuff on it, but I always thought this one was funky. Honestly, I don't know much about it. It is a Super Comp of sorts, but it's kind of got some different features with where the leather comes through and kind of this weird hinged cuff with the lower plastic. So boots were pretty funky. This is probably like late 1980s. The colors were way cool. I'm sure it'll come back because anybody who's old enough to see this stuff, it cycles. So today I'm going to really kind of focus on getting back in the groove. It snowed here. Alta was covered in snow with the leaves changing today, which is where we're at in Salt Lake City. And that's exciting because we can definitely see an uptick. You go from that 90-degree weather not too long ago here in Utah, and hoping for a good winter. Last year was like 900 inches, which was a little bit crazy, probably a little too much for a lot of people. There was definitely a lot of powder days. Unfortunately, the road closures caused a lot of chaos and waiting in line for that. But yeah, we're excited to get on some skis myself. So especially on YouTube, we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a bit. But today's all about me getting on here. If you listen to the podcast, I've primarily focused on kind of newsroom and notes with the podcast. And since this is kind of another venue for us to connect with our community and the audience that we're building here on YouTube, I figured I would kind of talk a little bit about that stuff today. So nothing super telly specific, more what do we do? If you don't know about us, if you're already on our YouTube channel and you're wondering what the hell we do at Freeheel Life, we're going to talk about what we're doing in 2023 and hopefully beyond. So I got to stay hydrated. So I wanted to talk about the first thing that we launched end of last week. And as I kind of go through these things, I want to explain a little bit about what we're doing, why we're doing it. This is our 9th year in business. So I was a much younger man when we started this whole thing. And we've learned a lot over the years. I've learned a lot as a business owner. And like any small business, there's a lot of adaptability that comes with stuff, and it's important we move and change as needed and as things shift. So that's kind of the name of the game for us this year, and we've been putting a lot of thought into it, kind of heading out of the spring of last winter and coming into the summer, and that's given me a good opportunity to take stock of everything and kind of figure out what are we going to do, and then also kind of with that kind of touch back to what the whole idea of this thing was when I opened it in 2014. And that original mission was to preserve, protect, and promote telemark skiing, and create it. I always wanted to create a place where telemarketers could come and they had the ability to get all the information they needed. They could rent equipment. And ultimately, at that point in the very, very beginning, I was actually making a lot of the stuff that we sold here, pretty much all of it. And then we've obviously taken on more of a role as a traditional retailer in the snow space, and really focusing on kind of boutique brands where we couldn't make the thing and whatnot. But this year, what our intention is really to get back to focusing more on how can we produce some of the product that we want to share with the telemark community. And that's super important to us. And so many of you already know we're making skis. We're the only telemark company that's making skis ground up on a production level. There's obviously some smaller ski makers out there that are doing similar stuff to us, but I think in the telemark space, we're not white labeling, we're not shipping our stuff off, or only doing the engineering and then utilizing a ski factory. We built it here ourselves. We ripped the lumber down and we build all the cores ourselves all the way to the top sheet. And Taylor and I have been pressing the skis all summer. And our good buddy Todd helps us with the finished tunes and whatnot. But we're super proud of that product. If you didn't see, we're in Backcountry Magazine's latest gear guide, and being part of the Backcountry Select of all these select products that have made it in there, we're super happy about that. To be as small as we are and be able to do that. So you're going to find products like our skis. You're going to find our Bluebird day gear products, so our leashes, our levers, and our smile plates. And those will be back in stock. We've actually been part of what we're trying to do, and I'll get into this a little more later, but we're trying to get out and start having some of that stuff in shops near you, wherever you may be. Specifically trying to focus on the United States right now and get into that wholesale relationship with shops that are near and dear to your heart, probably in your neighborhood or in your town. And this is a way for us to be able to produce that product and get it to them, and you'll be able to get it a little bit closer to home. So that's going to be one thing. So I kind of mentioned last week, we started launching a new thing that's really going to help us out, because one thing over the year, and that, let me just say it out loud. I keep sort of backtracking. We've launched an appointment system that you're going to be able to make appointments in Salt Lake City at our retail shop, and also some products where you can make phone appointments. So sort of the thought process behind this is, no matter what size we've been over the last 9 years, we've really, one thing I've always tried to focus on is making sure when you walk in here, you're talking to someone who has the expertise that can help you get the answers that you need. And the same thing with our phone lines and email and everything, because otherwise it wouldn't really separate us, And at that point, we were really focusing on the retail side of things. And, we knew that a lot of these retail shops did not have the ability to answer a lot of questions. So what this appointment system is allowing us to do is really be able to see what times like we need to be available, and then keep the time sort of tight. It's an appointment, and that way we can kind of move through. We can be prepared for the customer, for you, and we can make sure to answer the questions in a reasonable amount of time, which is the whole objective, and make sure you get the answers that you were looking for in the first place. So if you go to our website and you go to the service section of the website, we really try to do a better job of detailing out the products that we offer from a service side of things, and then making sure that you can book that appointment and come in and get what you need. So boot fitting appointment, that's an hour-long appointment that's going to include sizing your boots, fitting your boots, making sure you're in the right Scarpa boot, which is the brand that we carry, and then being able to do the heat mold on the boot and make sure that you walk out of here a happy customer. That was a really tricky one, because when we just have the doors open all the time, it really makes it difficult for us to give you our undivided attention and really focus. So we're really trying to up our game there. And on that particular product, I think this is a good example of something I wanted to talk about. Is it's a $25 deposit to book that, but that $25 at the end goes towards the boot purchase anyways. And I'll tell you, here's what was happening that was making it so tough especially over, I'd say, the last 3 or 4 years. You know, we wanted to get to know everybody and be that resource for everyone. But what was happening is we started seeing, especially in the last 2 years, is people calling in or emailing and saying, hey, I need help with this thing. And sometimes it had to do with stuff that we had, and sometimes it didn't have anything to do with what we had. And I think, you know, in hopes of, we were trying to be good-natured people, answer the questions, do our due diligence to make sure we had the information. And, you know, from a traditional retail perspective, you kind of just accept that when you sell product to these people that you're answering their questions, you're sort of building in the cost of that assistance into the product sale. And unfortunately, what has happened is a lot of times, you know, people are using that information and getting all of the expertise. I mean, average phone call here is probably minimum 30 minutes, if not 45 minutes. And then we would, a lot of times at the end, say, hey, can I help you with that product? And a lot of times people would say, oh, no, I'm good. I'm going to go to this shop, this box store down here and grab it. And it just started to get very difficult for us. And I just want to be transparent with all of you out there. We had to come up with a different way for us to make sure that we're helping the right people. And so that we can put all of our love, energy, passion for telemark into helping you get the product you need. So that's why the deposit, and it's still going towards the purchase. There's no fee on top of it, but it hopefully will help us avoid that situation. Now, with that, I will say, I'm really going to hammer on this year. Podcast, all of our content. If you have a local shop that you can support, we want you to support it. And in fact, if they're telemark friendly, hit us up and tell us where that shop is. Tell us how we can help. Because I think what we're going to try and do is really, if we want to spread telemark. When I came up with spread telemark back in like 2012, that was the idea, is like, we want to see this thing propagate out. We want to share telemark. We want to make it accessible. And when we were kind of approaching this more as a traditional retail shop, sure, we want to compete. We want to go do our best. We want to be the number one. And we were able to accomplish that. But I think with what I just explained about needing to do appointments, and also realizing like there are places that you can go and support nearby. And we want to find a way through our products and knowledge, how can we help these other shops? So if nothing else, get them on our radar. I've got a pretty good idea. I spent a decade or more of my life driving around the United States. And I know where most of these places still are that are open, but I'm trying to find ways to help educate and help share what we've learned in the last 8 years in a way that can benefit and keep these retailers alive. And I'll tell you what I'm hearing on the business side of the house. I think this is going to be a tough winter for a lot of retailers for various reasons. And we don't have to go into that right now, but those mom and pop shops, I'm telling you, especially if they're ones that have been telemark friendly, you have to support them. And, don't worry about us. We're trying to adapt. And I think this is the way we adapt and grow telemark. We've got to find a way to make sure that us now manufacturing product, we're finding the right shops and vetting them, making sure that's the place you're going to go, and then helping them with the information so that they can help you closer to home. One more thing on that. I know this for a fact because people ship us skis from around the country. That's crazy for a mount. Okay. Now, I want to think we have the best telemark mount in the business, but it's crazy if you have to spend money to ship your skis from Michigan to me, ship skis from Arizona, New York. Do I want the business? Sure. But it's inconvenient for the person out there, and that's what I don't want. That doesn't make any sense, and that's a problem. And what we're trying to do is solve problems. Telemark as a business is a big jungle, and we need to solve problems, and this is how we're going to do it. So appointments, check them out. We got boot heat molds. You can do drop-offs for telemark mounts and remounts, boot fitting and sizing like I talked about. Now, if you're watching this and you're like, I don't live anywhere near Salt Lake, this has nothing to do with me. We do have another thing, we can set up a complimentary call if it is the right situation. Email us for that at customerservice@freeheellife.com. Or we have a consultation call. And I'll tell you why this one's so important is it goes back to what I was just talking about with the appointments. We want to block out time to help you with product that we carry. So you're going to see that we don't carry any other skis than our skis this year. So if someone calls in or emails in and says, hey, I want you to tell me all about these skis out there that are available and I want to get them. Can you tell me all about them? Why are they good for telemark? And we're happy to study up on that ski, or a lot of us are familiar with those skis anyways, but we need to charge for our time. So there's a $25 consultation call for $30. If it's our ski, let us know and we'll set up a call and we'll get you dialed in. But the reason people are asking questions about a lot of these ski brands is they're like, hey, I reached out to Rossignol or Blizzard. Nobody knows if they're good for telemark. And that's what I'm trying to help everyone out there understand. If the company that's making the product cannot answer your questions about telemark, about the turn you make, about the bindings you use, about the boots you use, consider not supporting them, okay? I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but guess what? Telemark's definitely not dead, but if you want to see it survive and thrive into the future, these are the types of things that you need to consider and look at and try to help the people that are focused on it, including that local business down the street that really wants to do telemark. They just don't, they've lost touch with what's going on, but they're down to do it. So I just want to put that out there. Please, please, please think about the dollars you're using to purchase a product. And if that company can't answer your questions, my recommendation is don't support them. Support a company, a person, whatever, that's focusing their energy and attention on answering your questions specific to the best turn on snow, in my opinion. Okay. So I talked a little bit about manufacturing. Bluebird Day Gear, we acquired that from Jeff Cox on the East Coast a couple years ago. We're manufacturing everything in-house. We've got aluminum heel levers, we have leashes, and we have smile plates that are reinforce old 3-pins on leather and plastic boots. So you can scope those out. They're on our website. They're sold out right now because we're working for the wholesale accounts first. But I would definitely encourage you to pick that stuff up. And obviously, we'll still be doing lifestyle, all of our T-shirts, stuff like that. But really what you're going to see in here is, think of it as a signature shop for Freeheel Life. That was what I started out when I was here sewing hats and doing all this funny stuff at the beginning, screen printing in the back. That's what we're getting back to. We want to make sure we've got our hands on the product. We're listening to what people are saying. We're putting it into practice as we make stuff. That is what this is all about. Is it hard? 100%. It is way, way harder to go this route. And I'm grateful for what we've been able to do with retail up to this point, but this is where we got to go. I would rather fail at this and go out on my shield feeling good about it than do the same thing that we're just doing, is just pushing a lot of products that don't share our mission. Okay. And so I want you, that's what we're doing in the content this year too, is I just want to be real with you out there and say, hey, here's what this is all about. And try to address some of these problems. We're trying to solve problems so that your life can be easier out there and you can have good product, and you can call someone on the other line and you can get the answers. So If you need an appointment in Salt Lake, hit us up. If you need something outside of Salt Lake, even if it's a different country, we can use WhatsApp, all that kind of stuff. And obviously, we're taking a lot of cues from you out there, what kind of content we need to produce to help you out. So retail hours, you're probably thinking, is it appointment only? I'm still trying to figure that out. For sure, reduced retail hours from what we've done in the past as we assess out the appointments so that we can kind of see where is the demand. You know, we definitely want to have access for people to get out on our demo skis, our Protector 95s and 105s, try Scarpa boots, try the Rotofella and 22 Designs bindings that we're carrying. That's super important. So I'm working through that. I'll have some more information. I guess it snowed, so I probably need to make some decisions pretty quick. But we're trying to keep it tight this year, keep it smart, and make sure we're doing the right things. Obviously, YouTube's been a big switch for us. We've always kind of dabbled in it over the years. The membership on YouTube, such a big way to support us because it allows us to focus on content. Telemark's so visual, it's easy to be able to watch how to fix a binding, how to use a boot, how to fit a boot. Our half and whole sizes on boots, the same thing with Scarpa boots. So the medium is absolutely perfect for what we're doing and where we're headed. Preserve, protect, promote telemark. That's what we're all about. And I love that we can visually do that. So I hope all of you will consider being a member of the YouTube channel. Like I said, the green level, it's only a couple bucks a month. And there's not like specific videos behind the paywall for that. You got to get to the blue or the black level, but it shows that you're supporting us. You don't have to super thanks or, tip on a live. I mean, if you want to, that's great, but it's a way for you to show, hey, we like what you're doing. We like the content. We want to see stoke videos. We want to see some basic instruction or advanced instruction. That's where we're headed. So one thing I am going to do especially as we start getting on snow is I'm going to continue to do some of the videos to get deeper into instruction. This is a massive gap that I see out there. Nobody that's interested in telemark, in my opinion, should have to be able to afford half-day private lesson at a resort, which at least in Utah, there's no group lessons left. That's crazy. So guess what? We're going to do it, and we're going to do it on video. And basically, I'm going to break it up kind of in different sections. Obviously, the black level members are going to get the super, super deep dive stuff. Blue level, kind of a tier down. There will be some free stuff. If you're watching this, you're like, I'm a beginner, I don't need that. For sure, I'm going to touch on some of that instructional video stuff, and I'm super excited about that. And then just final, again, I just want to emphasize local shops. Start thinking about how to support those local retailers. It's so, so important. Get them in touch with us. And like I said, I'm trying to come up with ways to share the knowledge that we have so that we can find a way to help them be a little more proficient so that they're getting the business and we're able to help them grow. We cannot, one of them that I just heard went down, they weren't doing a lot of telemark, but in Minneapolis, Midwest Mountaineering, traditionally, not as recently, but back in the day, they were the telemark spot to go. Then they kind of faded out of tele. And as far as I know, there's one I found outside of Minneapolis, but there's no one in this massive city to help people in the Midwest. And we want to find all these shops that can help out and get them associated with us in some way, even if it's just education. So talking about the Midwest, events that we're doing this year, we are going to be at some key events for sure. Taylor and I are coming out to Midwest Telefest in February. Check them out on Instagram. You can check out 3 vlogs that we've done on the YouTube channel showing some of our crew going out to the Midwest Telefest. And you can actually go ski Freeheel Life Glades, which is a run named after us, maintained by Midwest Telefest at the Porcupine State Park outside of Ontonagon, Michigan, right on Lake Superior. And I can't wait. I haven't been there since they put up the signs and renamed it. We'll be out there doing that along with the Midwest Smelly Knee Pad. And I'm going to have my good friend Keith Opperman, who heads that up, come on and give some special announcements on the podcast that's going to be happening. So podcast. If you're a podcast listener, this is going to live on. I took the summer off, probably was a little lazy getting back on the horse, but podcast is going to start going up this coming Monday. I've got a solo podcast. And then, like I said, I've got some great guests coming up. Keith Opperman from Midwest Telefest. We're going to be talking about our partnership with that event. Another event that we're going to be promoting, you're going to be seeing on our platforms, are the Freeheel Festival Tour over in Europe. That's a big deal for us too. And we're working hard to see if we can get some of our skis over there. So I'm hoping that that can be something that you can find in Europe, even in a small amount. So check that out as well. And Richard's going to be coming on, and we're going to be doing a podcast. I mentioned before, I was talking to Mike Hattrip, who ran K2 Telemark for years. He's agreed to do the podcast, and I'm digging up some old bones. If you have suggestions for future podcasts, I'm going to try and keep it rolling as far as I can. Now, part of what was holding me back was video podcasting, because everyone's like, I'm never going to watch a YouTube audio version on YouTube. I've been working on how to do video podcasting, at least with the remote people. But I just have come to the conclusion, I'm one guy, it's a ton of work, and it's pretty hard to do. So if you get video podcasts for the most part, and then you get an audio podcast, my apologies ahead of time. I'm doing my best, but I would rather just keep going on the weekly. Those come out typically Monday mornings, wherever podcasts are found, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And then we'll come on the YouTube channel as well, hopefully in video format. But like I said, at least I'll have the audio, and that's done good for me, 175 episodes. So I know hopefully some people are listening out there. But I'm fired up about this year. This has been a long journey. It's crazy. This is year 9. And here we are, like almost a decade here. Old Telly Tay started working for me like 7 years ago. He's like not a college kid anymore. He's been here. Everyone's been here a long time. And I just want to thank all of my staff that's come and gone. Ashley, Taylor, Alex LeBlanc, Alex Johnson. And I mean, there's so many more. We couldn't be here, and we could not be here without you. And now we're on YouTube, and I appreciate you all checking out the live stream. I'll mention too, Black Level members. So I do a 30-minute one the first part of the month. The last part of the month, I do a Black Level 60-minute live stream. And, I've done 2 so far, and we've really focused primarily on gear, bindings. I think last time we talked about tech toe bindings, how to use those. Are there knee injuries maybe associated with it? The relationship of that with the cage toe stuff, like the Rotofella Free Ride and Freedom, Outlaw X. So if that's your kind of thing and you want this greater level of access to those types of videos, subscribe to the Black Level. Like I said, Blue Level, just a step down. There's specific Blue Level videos. I think the last one I did was like 20 minutes long, and I've got those coming up next week, both the Blue Level, Black Level, and then I'm doing some behind the scenes videos around here. So this is the first full week back for Taylor and Alex and myself. And so we're just going to start getting after it and try to document it to the best of our ability. But I think this is a really important thing. If you've supported our brand, our shop, anything in the past, a t-shirt, a pair of boots, whatnot, thank you from the bottom of our heart. It means so much to us. And we want to keep this thing ticking and be able to put a little food on the table at the end of the day, and also help get telemark out there and spread telemark across the globe. And we think these are the ways and the changes that we can incorporate to do that. And that adaptability to find solutions is what we're all about. It's just like a telemark turn. It's a hard puzzle to figure out at first, but I've always been a believer. Telemark is a good life lesson. If you stick with it over a period of time, the more effort you pay into that turn, the bigger the benefits get. And hopefully in the end, you're making great powder turns, carving around on the hard pack, and doing all the fun stuff out there. So thank you so much for being here. Like I said, my name is Josh Madsen, and we are here to preserve, protect, and promote telemark skiing. Hope you have a great week, and I will see you all the next time around. Spread telemark always. See you later.